6:21 on a Wednesday morning. Here it's time on Good Day Las Vegas for our Morning Cup of Joe with Metro Sheriff Joe Lombardo, who joins us live. Sheriff, good to see you once again this morning.
Morning, John. Go Knights, go.
Go Knights, go indeed. Let's get right into a case that we've been following for the better part of 2 weeks here in southern Nevada. There was an arrest made yesterday in Denver of Samantha Moreno Rodriguez. She's accused of killing her son. The son's body found up near Mountain Springs. The FBI was involved. This case spans from California to Colorado. A lot of departments involved. Let's first just talk about the coordination to try and get some resolution in this case.
Thank you, John. I think first and foremost, our condolences go out to the father of Liam that passed away and his extended family and friends. And it's important for people to realize that we care about that and that we have some closure associated with this case. But I brought with me, anticipating this question, John, I brought a list of participating agencies, and if you would give me the privilege of naming them, because
of course.
What a coordinated effort this was. So the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Clark County School District, Clark County Coroner's Office, Nevada Department of Transportation to include NHP, Nye County Sheriff and the school district, Border Patrol, San Bernardino Sheriff Department, Child Protective Services, Crime Stoppers, FBI, California DOJ, San Jose PD, and Denver Rocky Mountain Safe Streets Task Force. So the question was the coordinated effort. Yes, I mean, because you imagine not knowing where the crime or the kidnapping originally took place, it ends up in our jurisdiction, unknown where the suspect may be, and across numerous state lines. It's important for us to coordinate with all the other associated law enforcement agencies that can help us in this endeavor.
And Sheriff, I think you cut out a little bit there, but if you're still with us, Sheriff, there was such an effort to make sure that we could identify the victim in this case, identify him. I believe we may have lost connection to the sheriff here. We'll continue to try and press forward here. There was such an effort made by law enforcement to try and identify the victim in this case, and as soon as that identification was made, we were able to, we're going to catch up with the sheriff in a second. We'll try and reestablish contact and get to those questions. Oh, we got him back. It's technology.
We got him back.
It's how we do things here. Sheriff, I was asking about the effort to try and identify the victim in this case and how much of an effort it was by law enforcement to make that happen. Once there was the identity made, there was an arrest made soon afterwards. How challenging was it for detectives to get to that point where at least the victim, in this case the boy, could be identified and then move forward?
Yeah, and unfortunately, you're fully aware that there was a misidentification in the early throes of this investigation, and that was a mother that believed it was possibly her child, and we don't have to get into the details of that, but unfortunately it was a misidentification. But in the situation of a juvenile, we don't have a lot of data to work off of, DNA and other archived information that people usually we have a database because of what they go through in their lives or previous arrests or anything of that matter. So in a juvenile, it's unique. So we knew, hopefully with all our media outpouring, that we would be able to identify this young man via friends and or family. People wondering where the young man had disappeared to, hadn't seen him for quite a while, and subsequently we were able to do it through that method. A friend of the father became aware of the composite drawing and asked the father some questions and said possibly could be the father's child. And through investigation through San Jose PD in contact with the father, we were able to put two and two together.
And tracking someone down nationwide like this, you mentioned all the different agencies that were involved. There's so much technology that's available to pinpoint where someone is that you're looking for. How might this have played a role in finally able to catch the mother in Colorado?
You're correct. It played a significant role. So we have a suspect, possible suspect identified, but we're trying to locate them. We're going across numerous state lines, and the whereabouts is unknown, so we have to employ the use of technology in this situation. So that technology is probably not a public information piece that I want to provide at this point. because we are still continuing the investigation. We have a suspect in custody, and we want to ensure that they have due process associated with this case. So it's important for us to keep that confidential. At this point, it more than likely will as this case.
Understandable. You know, one of the things that Lieutenant Ray Spencer from the homicide unit mentioned in one of his press conferences was the number of missing children all across the country, and the effort to try and find them obviously is an ongoing effort. What kind of police work is done to try and help folks that are finding missing children all the time to track down those kids?
Yeah, that's a big number. You know, interesting enough, and I appreciate the question. And in our research during this, the NCIC, the National Crime Information Center, which houses, when you report a child missing, a report is taken, that's placed in the National Crime Information Center. And as you can see the numbers on the board, 365,000 plus last year was put in that system. You know, and those numbers come in and out of the system as people are located and the cases are put to bed because people are aware of where their loved ones are, or they remain in the system. So that's a big number, and that's a big number for investigative resources to try to put their arms around and investigate all those particular missing persons thoroughly. But it's a benefit for us when we do identify, say, a runaway down in Boulder Highway area or anywhere in the Las Vegas Valley, and we are able to bounce what information we are able to obtain from the individual off that database, determine where they're missing from, how do we get them back to where the parents who filed the report or loved ones filed the report, and subsequently return them to where people are looking for them.
Well, Sheriff, it's certainly an important case. We're going to continue to follow it, as I'm sure your detectives are as well, and we appreciate your time this morning here on Good Day Las Vegas. If you have a question for Sheriff Joe Lombardo here on Morning Cup of Joe, submit it at 8newsnow.com. We'll present it to the sheriff here on television, and you can find out if your question is answered every Wednesday.